Everybody, Jason Burmis here. We are with John Fitch. It is Mixed Martial Mindset. There's actual fights coming on this week that we can talk about.
Yes.
Hopefully what we talk about, John, doesn't get us thrown off of YouTube, as I was given my first warning via
bad boy. Naughty. This has been naughty.
I know. So our holiday spectacular show got hit because we dared to play Dr. Pierre Corey in a Senate hearing.
Those untrusty doctors in their Senate hearings.
I know. Yeah, can't do that.
Not be trusted untrusted sources.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy because you'd think that the medical misinformation that we presented in there would have been that Dr. Fauci said that he had vaccinated Santa Claus because that's a physical impossibility and obviously could not be true. But no, it was a medical professional talking about actual medical studies going on in Argentina and otherwise, and talking about treating people and allegedly saving their lives. Allegedly. So how you doing, Fitch? How's it going today, my friend?
It's sunny. It's not so bad, you know. I got some arrows off yesterday. Had a nice hike this weekend. Had a lady friend over. It was good. It's been a good little
wow.
few days.
It's almost like springtime, only it's the dead of winter.
Yeah,
and
really. It was bad, man. It was super freezing cold rain. I had to take the tarp down off my thingy, and because it was just catching water and bending all my crap up.
I mean, we got a ton of snow, ton of ice here. It's on and off. It melts because it gets warm, and then it just ices over. My driveway's a mess. I got to get one of those like sledgehammers and like pickaxe things. Like, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
Just buy one of those bags of like Morton's salt.
I have that. The salt's fine, but you don't understand. It happens so often that it's like, okay, you shovel your driveway. Great, right? And then everything melts. But wait, it melts. By morning time, it's gotten cold enough that it's icing over, and it's raining ice, and it snows. So then it like freezes up into this mix. The salt does some. It's okay for the sidewalks. For my big driveway, got to get the pickaxe. That's definitely on the.
So guys, we need to get on the Burmis Brigade and get him. We need to get Jason a heated driveway.
That would be nice. Yes, the heated driveway.
And then the driveway heat turns on.
That's when I know I've made it, when I have a heated driveway.
You get your paper from your robot dog.
Yeah, there you go. Oh. More and more, I've been thinking
give you
about
a vaccine at the same time, or an anal swab for your COVID testing.
So they're doing the wastewater testing in Oneonta. So allegedly, this is alleged. My buddy, he works, one of the guys that I hired when I was at the bar, he ended up taking it over after I left. But he works for UPS now because there's no other jobs. And, he's one of those compliant, but he hates all this. He hates all the regulations. And he said that they had to pick up fecal samples from the kids. And I was like, is this true that they're really doing fecal tests? And Oneonta had it up there. They were doing the wastewater testing. They were testing the sewage. So you wonder how long before it is now going to be individual anal swabs in New York State. I mean,
prepping you. They're just prepping you. We already tested the sewage. They're going to test the old people.
Yeah, we got to get the poopy right in there. Now, what do you think about Fauci and his double masking? And now he's actually gone back and said there's actually no evidence that a double mask does anything. Have you seen that yet?
When is any? This is what, like one study that says masks work and a bunch that are like inconclusive. Like, do surgeons? Does that mean anytime I had a surgery and I had a surgeon that didn't double mask, I can sue now because he wasn't taking utmost precautions in my safety?
I think it's all hogwash, Johnny nonsense. But man, I want to be able to find this Fouch. Oh, dude, this is come on, man.
I don't know. So like I talked to somebody who had the COVID and
Okay.
was sick for a few days, but is convinced that you can get it again.
You probably can. Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
my
this
God.
is never going to end. It's never going to end. That's the whole thing. Listen, this is never ending. It's never going to end. Did you already see that France, for instance, Macron said that he doesn't want anyone over 65 being vaccinated at all. Have you seen this?
So we got to cut our losses, guys.
Wait, it gets
Macron is
better.
cold.
So
Macron is
Merck,
cold.
you know what? We gotta find all this stuff
He's
absolutely
ruthless.
100% live.
Yeah, his old lady. Oh man.
Dude, it's out of control. But let's do all this stuff live. So first things first, let's get Fauci. Fauci double masking. Where is it? Double masks don't work. Probably gonna be hard with Google. Should be the first thing that pops up. This is the common sense one. So we already have that one. Just so everybody knows, it's common sense to wear 2 masks instead of 1. There he is wearing it. He's now said there's no evidence whatsoever. You know what? Let's go back.
I mean, how do people take any of these people serious? When is the breaking point? I stopped with weapons of mass destruction. That's when I stopped taking these people seriously. This has been a clown show ever since that. And how much more clown show do you need? This guy's like, oh yeah, it's common sense, and then he completely reverses, like, oh yeah, it totally doesn't do anything.
Let's see. And here's the thing. I looked for Fauci, and I type it into Twitter, and already the one should be number 1 is the double masking doesn't work. You see this? You see the scrolling? Still not there. Still not there. I mean, still not there. So where is it?
What are all these of? These are of him telling you to double mask?
No, these are all him telling us that we need to get vaccinated so that we can stop the spread of the mutation of the virus. Not even the virus itself, but the mutation of the virus. See, we will continue to see the evolution of the mutation. And basically it's, Gates and him just laughing it up, saying, ha ha, funny, funny, in your face. So let's see if we can get, I hit latest. You shouldn't wait to get the vaccine. Man, just hidden from a bunch of masks. Where is it? Can't find it. Makes sense. Okay, so it looks like Breitbart got it. There is no data that indicates it. Man, that was almost impossible to find. And I had to go to Breitbart, and I'm going to be accused for being.
Oh, Breitbart. Oh, that's a right wing, far right conspiracy theory magazine.
And not only that, but it doesn't even link to the video of him saying, like, I watched the video this morning that says there's no data showing double mask work. Fauci saying it. That should be the number 1 video everywhere. Everybody should be talking about it. And I can't even find it on the site that's reporting it right now.
You're about to get strike 2.
Let's see. If I hit the interview here.
Play the video and get strike 2.
So listen, they don't even excerpt it here. Again, this is a 31-minute interview. It literally was a 12-second video I found. Man, that pisses me off. Well, at least we won't get taken down for fake news, maybe. Now, let's do the other part live. What is
taken
it?
Down for accurate news.
Macron, yeah, right. Macron, no vaccine under 65 or over 65, sorry. Over 65. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Macron, AstraZeneca vaccine quasi-ineffective for over 65. So he admitted it doesn't even work. It doesn't even work. And John, I pointed this out yesterday that we have
over 65.
Yeah, it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. Look, what is it? Who's the guy? it went away. We got another official, another health worker. This guy died 4 days after taking the shot, got sick 2 hours after taking. This is the second shot. This was in the beginning of January. It says January 5th, he took the second shot, okay? Feeling ill roughly 2 hours later, he died 4 days later. They knew about this on January 9th. This story came out this week, okay? We had the congressman who just contracted COVID after 2 doses, right? Again, Fauci says two masks instead of 1. Now he's like, there's no data. Macron, the vaccine doesn't work. Do you know that Merck stopped making the vaccine? Because they know it doesn't work? I can't make this up. Merck ceases vaccine efforts. Let's see if we can find that. And there it is right there. This happened almost a week ago. Everybody shut their mouth about it. Why? Take a guess why, guys. Because it's ineffective. And in the long run, they realize it won't be profitable. Merck doesn't do things that aren't profitable. Merck stops
do you think
vaccine.
they're rushing through this vaccine that doesn't work just so that like people will have enough confidence to like go outside again?
No.
Because they need to start making money off people. So what's the deal?
Number one, it's bending the knee to medical martial law. Okay? So first off, it's how many people are going to be obedient to this. Secondly, it's the constant excuse that a large swath of the population doesn't take the vaccine, so we need these continuous lockdowns. All right? Thirdly, okay,
creates a bad guy.
I mean, and it's an ultimate benefit where, just like Bill Gates said, maybe it's going to be 2, maybe it'll be 3. Hey, how about 5? How about an annual one? You started the show talking about how your buddy believes he can get it again because he probably can, and they're going to try to make it into an annual thing. They're getting all up in that ass, John. We're there. We're at the in your ass point.
Yep.
Speaking of in your ass,
implant.
JohnFitch.net is where you find everything John Fitch. TheGruelingTruth.com is where you find the audio version of this bad boy. I got to start a new Go Get funding today because it is the first of the month. But you can find us both on Rockfin. And actually, another exclusive today, as I had to go off on YouTube yet again. The video here, the Mr. Gates Saves the World watch along. When you watch that on YouTube, for some reason, YouTube thought it was necessary to put a fact check under it to let me know that Joe Biden is the president and he has been fairly elected through no fraudulent means. That video is not about the election. It's not about Joe Biden. It's not about anything of the sort. And now that stuff is getting fact checked, John. That's where we're at. How much longer do you think we're doing the show on YouTube? What's your guess? What's your over under?
Oh, man. Oh, I don't know, man. Like maybe, I don't know, end of the year.
Do we even get that far? Like Poikinen, the thing I was talking about, like, so Poikinen from Slow News Day, he was in the chat while I was doing that broadcast. And basically that broadcast, John, is me watching the unwatchable with the audience, a.k.a. a Davos live stream of Bill Gates and others talking about carbon markets and carving up the world. For instance, some of the lovely things they said, John, were that, there is a carbon offset market for like 30 plus years, right? This carbon trading market. This is what they want for the global carbon tax. So one of the things they've used to offset your carbon, like if you were a big company, one of the things that you could do is you could plant trees, okay? Because trees, John, scientifically and throughout human history, breathe carbon dioxide. You think, well, that's good. Oh, trees are good. Oh, I like that. Bill Gates in this literally says that they can't use that as offsets anymore because the soil and the water on the planet is too poisonous. I mean, that's the cartoon level shit I'm dealing with. So Poikinen's in there. He's
the whole purpose of like marshes and certain things. It's to filter water. It filters it out.
Just do it again. He talks about how the soil is, he goes, you need really good, rich soil for that. You need good water. And we don't have that. He literally says that. And then later on, one of the other people on there is like, Bill, he got it 100%. Boy, we agree with everything that Bill says. I'll tell you this, he's not that giddy and happy in this one as he is when he's talking about vaccines and pandemics. He loves that. I mean, I don't know if you've seen his new 2-minute ad. Have you? Oh, boy. I mean, we might have to play that. I have to plug my little things in. But you know what? If I have it up, why not? I mean, Bill, listen, he literally plays with human toys in a creepy, dystopic video about the next pandemic and how we need to be prepared for that and how it's going to be much worse. You know what?
Creepy Bill Gates.
It's got to be done. Let's do it live, folks. You've seen it. Now John Fitch gets to. Bill Gates warns that the next pandemic could be 10 times worse. And here we go.
Jesus. They found the best war on terror ever.
Oh, they did.
We all want to return to the way things were before COVID-19. But there's one area where I hope we never go back. Our complacency about pandemics. We can get ahead of infectious disease outbreaks. By the next pandemic, I believe we can have what I call mega testing diagnostic platforms. They can be deployed quickly, cost very little, and test 20% of the entire population every week.
So let's just stop there. He's saying mega testing for the entire populace, where in 5 weeks, 8 billion people could be tested. How does that happen without mandatory government support? But let's continue.
We also want to get treatments out far faster next time. One of the most promising is monoclonal antibodies. These manufactured antibodies grab onto the virus and disable it, just like your immune system, and can reduce death rates by as much as 80%.
Can reduce death rates by as much as 80%. Now, if you believe that, let's say with COVID-1984, let's just say that. Let's say if you believe it. The survival rate by the World Health Organization standards in August of this year, I believe it was, August. They said it was a 99.4% survival rate. So you only got 0.6% to work with. Now, up to 80% of that means it might go from 99.4% survival to 99.7 and change. Whoopity, maybe, we don't know. And again, he's talking about these antibodies and these mRNA vaccines that are unproven. And as you can see, are not being used in France the way that we're using them in the United States and not being promoted by Merck.
I also think that we'll develop new vaccines quickly, in large part due to this new mRNA platform. mRNA will become faster to develop, easier to store, and lower cost. That's a huge breakthrough. To stop future pandemics quickly, we need to be able to spot disease outbreaks as soon as they happen anywhere in the world. And that requires a global alert system.
Total surveillance over everybody. And notice that the people in the little thing, they were wearing face masks and they were wearing shields. There was no normalcy. And there still is this global alert system where we know within minutes.
Alert system.
If there turns out to be some new infectious pathogen, then
that would
need
never
a
be used
group
maliciously
of
by a
infectious
government.
disease responders.
Look, infectious disease responders. Now he's taken away the flat-like people, right? The little cartoon people that had the masks and the slaves. Now he's got the big action figure saviors. He's going to compare them to your local firefighters, John.
I know. Yeah, action figure when I see one.
to spring into action. Think of these as like pandemic firefighters. They're going to use their logistics, use their ability to build up capacity quickly. They're going to go wherever that problem is. Stopping the next pandemic will require a big investment. But I think of this as the best insurance policy the world could buy.
I mean, do you
Best
think
insurance policy for who? The elite? That's one hell of an insurance policy for you, Bill. You
watch that.
Right. You'll be doing great.
Doesn't that, like, first of all, the set's not that impressive. So it doesn't look like it's like a big Hollywood movie from the 80s, but it looks like some cheesy show. Like if there was like a 2-part A-Team, right? Like the A-Team wasn't just coming in to bust up the local thugs that were harassing like the bar in the town, but the A-Team really, like, the old special forces people come back to the A-Team and they need them for one more thing. You're like, those episodes, right? Like, Hannibal, we need you. We know we don't want to work with you, but you're the only guys that can get the job done. And then they cut to this guy over here in the blue set and the action figures. Oh, and we're going to save the world. Like, what is going on, John?
I like computers.
Oh, and here's the thing. While they sit there.
This is, this is wild.
Dude, wait till you see what they said at this fucking Davos thing. Have you seen that yet? Have you seen the commercial they put out before Davos to tell you that everything's going to be okay and it's a conspiracy theory to say otherwise?
I did not see that.
Okay.
I haven't paid attention, I guess. I haven't seen this stuff.
So today, John,
online,
we did a video because they've now made this into a series. All right, we're going to play again. This one's for the kids. It's for the fans. Thumbs it up. This is the mindset part of mixed martial mindset. But here we go. Let's go. So we'll do it live so everybody knows this isn't a parody site and that Davos, the World Economic Forum, actually did this. So you type in Davos, and the thing at the top is this new hip, like kids-driven daily Davos brief, right? Mm-hmm. But to introduce this style of propaganda, right before the online forum that took place last week, they put this out, John, and it is just mega over the top. You won't believe what they say.
To build a better world.
Sorry.
The pandemic has radically changed the world as we know it, and the actions we take today as we work to recover will define our generation.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis.
2020 has been challenging on a lot of levels, as economic, environmental, and societal frailties have been laid bare. But it's also proved.
Now, let's look at this. What they're showing you there is the number of labor forced that lost employment. Notice the dip starts from March to April. Yeah, they lost their jobs because you motherfuckers locked us down globally. It gets better because they also point out how rich billionaires have gotten, and they act like none of this is their fault. But let's continue.
That when we need to, we can act rapidly and restructure our lives.
Oh.
Recovery from the pandemic is an opportunity. We can see rays of hope in the form of a vaccine, but there is no vaccine for the planet. Nature needs a bailout.
You don't want to go back to the status quo that you had before simply because it was the status quo that got us here.
With everything falling apart, we can reshape the world in ways we couldn't before. Ways that better address so many of the challenges we face. And that's why so many are calling for a great reset.
Let's just stop that right there. Nobody's calling for a great reset.
We're not calling. We have a vote. You're not.
If you're not a billionaire, a predator class member or minion, a member of the royal family, or a total bootlicker, you are not calling for a great reset. You calling for one, John? Your neighbor? Your mom? Let me guess, your kids. Your kid, daddy, let's get the great reset. So here we go. Now, this is where they get so crazy with their propaganda, John. They admit that it sounds like a nefarious plan conspiracy. But don't worry, it's not.
Our Great Reset?
What's up? We're not bad
That
guys.
sounds more like buzzword bingo masking some nefarious plan for world domination. Hands up, this kind of slogan hasn't gone down well. But all we really want to say is...
Look at that. They literally use the They Live sunglasses to put over the veil of the Great Reset and make it say obey, and have a bunch of people in different languages go, no, 9, we're not doing this. But they're like, don't worry, everything's okay. It's not a nefarious plan.
that we all have an opportunity to build a better world. And it's not surprising that people who've been disenfranchised by a broken system and pushed even further by the pandemic will suspect global leaders of conspiracy. But the world's not that simple. Every one of us has differing priorities, values, and ideas. That's part of why solutions are so hard to come by, and why we all need to be involved in the decision-making.
And now when they say we all need to be involved in the decision-making, they mean the handful of people they're about to show you here that have no basis in your life or reality in general. That's everybody getting to decide. Watch.
Because whether it's politicians, CEOs, academics, activists, or you, we're all about getting people together.
Are you up there, John? I see Joe Biden. I see Vladimir Putin. I see Greta Thunberg. Is that Pharrell's in there?
Putin's up there.
Yeah, Bono's there. George Bush Jr. and Al Gore.
Why is W in the background right there?
Because they're selling us on the establishment. Dude.
Look at that. Oh, that's what's his name.
It's
Vice
Merkel. President. I think that's Trump's daughter there too. And then it's some pseudo social justice warrior, nobody in the middle, I guess. I don't know. But it's ridiculous.
What's his name? The vice president. What's his name?
Gore's there. You're talking about.
Gore,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Gore, yeah. But Klaus is just shaking hands. Again, this is us deciding. So let's continue.
Together, even those you may not like, to sit down at the table and develop solutions that work for all of us. But
we need enormous trust between the private sector and the public sector for this to actually work.
In other words, trust us. Fascism is great. We're going to decide for you. Anything else is a conspiracy theory.
That trust is hard to come by.
It's time for people to work together, listen to each other,
Rocket
and build
ships.
This trust, so we can move towards a better world. And we really need one. Because while the pandemic affects us all, it's clear it affects some more than others.
The first people who are hit are the people at the front, those who are vulnerable. It is those on the front line who take it first.
That's 100% a lie, by the way. Mm-hmm. That's 100% a lie. Let's get that out of the way. None of that is true. The people on the front line are not the people that took it worst. Let me explain to you who the people that took it worst are. There weren't people dropping dead at your local Walmarts or at McDonald's or any of these places that have been over. Those are frontliners, guys. Okay? They're not dropping dead in mass in hospitals as healthcare workers. Those are front lines. Who's dying? Poor and old people. And it doesn't help if you are poor and old. Those aren't frontline workers. Those aren't those on the front line. This whole thing is based on total bullshit, and it pisses me off. There's no pushback on this at all.
And that is simply unacceptable.
See, at the start of 2020, 1% of the world's population owned 44% of the wealth.
Also a lie. It is actually less than 1% of the population that owns that, number one. But they want you to go with that 1% slogan and act like your neighbor's rich. No, these are the fuckers. And now they're going to admit, John, that they've totally consolidated power, took more wealth, but somehow the Great Reset's going to fix that, John.
And since the start of the pandemic, billionaires have increased theirs by more than 25%, whilst 150 million people fell back into extreme poverty. And with climate change set to dwarf the damage caused by the pandemic, the message from 2020 should be abundantly clear.
Capitalism, as we know it, is dead.
What?
Capitalism is dead.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? Capitalism, it is crony capitalism. That none of the restraints in place that are supposed to be there are actually enforced.
Wait till you hear what they try to put in, because now they're going to start talking about social capital. That social credit score we've talked about, as if our actions are capital. Like, billionaires aren't the most sociopathic, bloodthirsty motherfuckers in the world. How do you think they rate on the morality scale? Are they going to not own anything too as capitalism dies?
This obsession that we have had with maximizing profits for shareholders alone has led to incredible inequality and a planetary emergency.
But no one can do this alone, and top-down approaches won't get us anywhere, because everything we've learned in our work has shown us that diverse voices lead to better results.
Now let's roll out the people of color. Diversity, you know, Mark Zuckerberg, he's part of a diverse group, and he's bottom up. He's not top down, John. Again,
and it's for these reasons that the forum talks about some.
They show nothing. They show two royals on the left-hand side, William and Charles. Okay? Take a look. None of these people are bottom up. They're all top down. Every single fucking one of them. What are they talking about?
Something called stakeholder capitalism, which would...
Stakeholder capitalism is not a real thing, okay? This is your slavery right here. They're acting as though you're somehow going to be a stakeholder by owning nothing, by being in servitude. This is the takeover, man.
Shift businesses away from just profit.
Because if we want to change where the focus of our recovery will go, then we need a new dashboard for the new economy. And that needs to encompass people, planet, prosperity, and institutions.
Giving people a real stake in the economy and putting well-being before growth.
Well-being before growth. These motherfuckers care so much about your well-being that they took down my video about a doctor talking about saving lives in a pandemic. That's how much they care about your well-being. But now that's going to be based in capitalism?
So thoughtful.
And that's all about getting the right people in the right place at the right time.
We must rebuild our relationship with nature for the survival of the peoples and our planet.
We have a window of time which is closing, and we need everybody who cares to get together and find solutions now.
It's the people who have great ideas and who share them with others.
Notice that they ran it back to the regular people, but making sure that they're in masks. I missed when all the royalty and the billionaires were in masks telling us what to do. But no, you're a stakeholder in their new form of fucking slavery.
They're the ones who are shaping the future. So if you want to be a part of the change, then tune in, turn on, and get involved. Follow the Davos agenda, right here, online, on YouTube.
So believe everything we're saying, watch us, and promote...
The devil's agenda. What it sounded like, the devil's agenda. Oh my goodness.
Can you believe that?
This is crazy. And then nobody knows, no pushback. This isn't on like the news. Nobody's like, holy fuck, this people are crazy. This is a cult. It's a cult. 100% Davos agenda cult.
I mean, dude, what else can you say about that?
Mother grabbers.
Every time I watch, and I've watched it several times now, it's like mind-blowing. They put that out. They're like, just believe us. And it's not nefarious. And poor people got poorer. And rich people got richer. And COVID-19 means climate change. Like, what is this?
It's got a bunch of catchwords. And the music, it's all like, ooh. And, you know, it's got the color changes. And it's like scientifically crafted to lure you into their freaking cult.
Do you want to watch it? Listen, I watched one today. I did a watch along with the audience, where now they have like a hip girl to the backbeat. So they got this girl dressed up in like 1980s outfits in gold chains.
She has no idea what she's even saying. She's just reading script.
Well, it's the big push here. So let's see. Let's go to the World Economic Forum.
The pandemic has radically changed the world as we know it.
Let's see. It's the Davos Daily. Let's go back to everyone here.
It's like Disney Child Stars.
I mean, it's some Sanjay, what's her name? Sinjay. I don't know, but she's hipping with it. She's way hipper than I'm ever going to be. Yeah. I said that we wouldn't do a second one today, but what the hell, folks. So we did this one here with Fauci to a backbeat. So now let's see what they had to say on this one. This one's now been released 5 days ago.
Oh, Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Bainbridge, and this is the Davos Daily.
Oh, so now they're letting... Okay, so the first one was just like a hip, good-looking Indian chick, and now we have a black woman who I'm not sure, she's a doctor. Okay, she's going to tell us about the vaccine, John. Are you ready?
The pandemic keeping us locked indoors, the World Economic Forum have moved their annual meeting from Davos to, well, wherever you are right now. And with this virtual conference, you can tune in anytime you want. But first things first, I'm here to give you some of the most captivating highlights so far. And let's start with some good news.
There are vaccine doses in vials now, and we're hoping to have something like 145 to 150 million doses delivered in the first quarter, maybe 500 million in the second quarter, and then 1.5 billion in the second half of the year.
There are still pitfalls related to equity and access, as these comments from Cyril Ramaphosa show.
Rich countries in the world are holding on to these vaccines, and we are saying release the excess vaccines that you have ordered and hoarded. The world needs access to those vaccines.
But it's integral that wealthy countries don't just act independently, which is why I'm pleased to let you hear firsthand from some European heavyweights.
If we don't urgently act to protect our nature, the next pandemic will be around the corner. To those who prefer the business case, here it is. More than half of global GDP is dependent on high-functioning biodiversity and ecosystems.
That's the new word, biodiversity. Have you been hearing that yet? Biodiversity? What the fuck does that even mean? Like...
Top 5 global risks are all related to the environment.
If we're going to see success and growth in the future, we'll need to first agree on how we treat and take care of our planet.
Our societies are vulnerable because nature is reminding us of this. We are vulnerable to pandemic, climatic events, and so on. And so the economy of tomorrow, strengthened by these lessons, is going to have to be an economy that thinks about innovation and humanity. And it's going to have to build competitiveness together with the climate challenge, reducing CO2 emissions, adapting our societies, the biodiversity agenda. So it's an economy that will have to be more resilient.
All this biodiversity stuff just sounds to me like we're going to lock you down when we want. We're going to tell you how much stuff you can have. We're going to tax the hell out of you. We're going to tell you how you can live. And they keep equating pandemics with climate change. Maybe I missed this, and maybe the Burmese Brigade can help me. Where's the evidence that climate change caused COVID-19? You know, props to at least fucking Bill Maher this weekend on Real Time. He had Brett Weinstein on. And Brett Weinstein and his podcast partner there, they did like 9 minutes talking about how it's a 90+% chance that this fucking thing is a bio fucking release. They won't call it a bio weapon. But they'll say that it leaked out of that lab, and they do believe it's the Wuhan lab and all that stuff. So how is it?
It wasn't an accident. It was not an accident.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That, you know what I mean, man?
World War III. We're in the middle of World War III.
I mean, think about that, John. Just that alone is, number one, you couldn't talk about it being biological warfare, aka a bioweapon, right? Then you couldn't talk about it being created in a lab. Now, if you talk about it created in a lab, right, you can't say that they distributed it on purpose or that it was a non-nation state that did this.
You're a bad person for saying that it came from Wuhan. Calling it the Wuhan virus.
They banned that in Congress, you know. They banned Wuhan virus and China virus with a stroke of Zombie Joe's pen. I mean, gross. You know what?
It's a felony to call it that now?
Yeah. It's not a felony. No, did you see what it is a felony for, though? You're not allowed to say that there. On that, it's a crime of some sort. I don't know what the fuck they can do. They can censure you or do some bullshit. But it is actually now a crime and a felony, apparently. A felony, John. You lose your ability to vote, lose your ability to have a gun if you do not wear a mask on public transportation. Federal crime. Federal crime. You see that?
Jeez.
That's where we're at. You know, and one of the bootlickers that thinks this is all funny and he's brainwashed and he's in Long Island and he doesn't realize that states like mine are fully open. Okay. He's like, well, what if you took your pants off on a plane? Blah, 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 blah. I go, yeah, still a misdemeanor at best. You can if you're wearing your underwear and you don't have your Johnny Wang dangle out, the worst they're going to get you for is a misdemeanor, not a felony. And again, all these people,
exposure,
they're so scared of a lockdown. They're so scared. And then I got morons when I posted this on Friday night, John, going, we're all going to die. Oh, there's the Fauci. Here's, by the way, we found the video. Here's Fauci on double masking before we get to the Friday night.
There are many people who feel, you know, if you really want to have an extra little bit of protection, maybe I should put 2 masks on. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's no data that indicates that that is going to make a difference. And that's the reason why the CDC has not changed their recommendations.
So there's no data. I mean, it's just all made up, but I'm going to tell you to do it if you want that extra blanket of security. Just like there's
fun games, he.
Just like there's no data to say that everybody in this room is going to get sick and die, or that frontline workers are taking it on the brunt.
No one expects anything. We trust everybody. We trust everybody.
Yep. Check it out. Iowa is open. We're open.
So again, a bunch of people standing around, having drinks, acting normal.
I was open.
We were open. I'll tell you what didn't happen. Nobody went into a coughing fit and then into cardiac arrhythmia and then died there. In fact, nobody even coughed at all in the middle of winter. Now, that's the one good thing, I guess, that people that even have the sniffles now stay in because they don't want to be that guy. But like, seriously, man, I wish the sniffles people would come out. You know, this is nuts. It's crazy, dude. Crazy. Oh, all right, we got fights. And this one's actually a good one. These are early, too.
I think and Volkov, exciting.
Look at the main event on the prelims, bro. Michael Johnson versus Clay Guida. That's a banger. I'm excited about that.
Guida.
I love Clay.
He just scored with Clay. Yeah.
I mean, either one of those.
Clay got now, man.
Who, Clay?
Yeah, he's been fighting way back. We fought down in Mexico card. Well, his brother fought.
He's got to have 50 fights. He's got to have 50 fights. He's got to have 50 fights. You know what? Let's see if we click on it, it'll actually say. Yeah, he's got 50 fights. He's got 52. He's 35-17. That's 52 fights. That guy's been fighting forever. And you wouldn't know it by looking at him. I mean, the guy's got the same exact face almost.
Hair takes a lot of damage.
Dude, if there was ever a guy that has leather face in fucking the UFC, it's him. Dude, I've seen him get pieced up for 3 rounds, jog around afterwards, and his face looks great. Even when he loses. He looks fantastic. Looks like they got quite a packed card here. I don't know much of these guys. Sangwood Choi, Yusuf Zalal, Molly McCann, Laura Prosopio. I know Julio Arce, and I know Tamir. Mike Rodriguez, Danilo Marquez. What do we got on the main card? By the way, who you got, Overeem or Volkov?
Man, I would love to see Reem make one last run just for funds.
I want it. I'm with you. Why not, right? Anything can happen in the heavyweight division. Although I do like Volkov. I think he's got some real good precision.
Tough, man, yeah.
I think that Volkov just, after that Derek Lewis loss where he was, winning that fight and took so much punishment and then all of a sudden gets knocked out, that's got to do something to your head. He hasn't been the same since that. Although I think he's coming off a win over Junior Dos Santos. I think that's his last one. Corey Sandhagen, I love this fight versus Frankie Edgar. Obviously, Sandhagen much younger, probably expected to win, but so much fight in Frankie. You can't help but root for Edgar. Let's see. Marion Renaud versus Macy. I don't know anything about either of those girls. Do you?
Don't know these girls.
And they're 10 and 12, huh? This guy's 5? Pontoya? What is it, the 125 division? It's got to be, right? What are they at? Yeah, 125ers. Okay, that's why I don't know him. And then Manel Cape, I don't think I've ever seen him fight. Cody Stamen, another Cody on the card. I like that. Andre Uhl, is he? I think Andre Uhl's coming out of the LFA. He sounds familiar. And then kicking it off with Diego Ferreira versus Beneil Dariush. And Dariush coming off a really big win his last fight. So
yeah, a good performance last time.
Yeah, he did have a really good performance last time. So it'll be nice to get some fights in this weekend. Ben Askren officially fighting Jake Paul. What do you think about that?
It's going to be, man, I think people are going to, if I'm right, you remember that show, Joes vs. Pros?
Yes.
Right. Some of those guys were pretty good athletes, trained a lot, played amateur or college, whatever. But like when they went against an actual pro who had competed at an elite level in a sport, they got crushed, even if it wasn't like their sport. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. But do you remember Bully Beatdown? Remember that? Jason Mayhem Miller did basically the same premise, only in mixed martial arts.
Those were all stunned guys. Those were all paid actors.
Yeah. Well, obviously they were taking beatings.
Well,
oh man.
No, I don't know. I mean, don't be surprised if Askren smokes him.
I mean, I'm expecting Askren to win. I can't wait to see what the odds are on that. That's actually kind of a fun fight. I like that. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't talked to Ben since almost a month now, since the Capitol incident. Man, I've gotten so wrapped up about the whole Capitol incident, the aftermath, the fucking inauguration.
Oh, really?
Dude,
what's the word on the impeachment now? I haven't heard much.
Hey, still going through. They're still going to do it. In fact, Trump, they just made fun of Trump for the two lawyers that he picked. They're just fucking throwing those guys through the wood chipper. And then what's the other big thing? They're trying to say that the $145 million or $175 million that he collected on his way out to try to fight the election, that he only used $10 million on lawyers. Again, this is a headline. I have no idea whether the story's valid, but they're saying basically he pocketed $165 million. I don't believe that, but that's the spin, So I think they're going to try to do it. There's talk of maybe just trying to go like this and slap him on the wrist and censure him after the fact. But then, like I was telling you, John, even more criminal cases are coming out against him. They're going to try to throw him in jail. They've got criminal cases against the guy.
They want to come after Trumpism. Anybody who has that mindset, because anybody who has that mindset isn't going to go along with these fucking indefinite lockdowns, forced vaccines. We're going to see like states secede or some crazy shit.
I think that honestly may be one of the next steps, believe it or not.
There's just some states that just are, I mean, like Florida isn't having it. They're open.
We're open.
They could just dig a moat.
Well, I mean,
be like, we're an island.
Think of it this way. How much have we seen Joe Biden post him being inaugurated now in the last 2 weeks? How much? Seriously. Has he spoken publicly for more than 20 minutes combined in the last 2 weeks?
Photo ops signing stuff at a desk, not knowing what he's signing.
Yeah, literally, he goes, I don't even know what I'm signing.
I don't know what I'm signing.
I don't even know what I'm signing. And like, this is the last best hope for America. Oh boy, JohnFitch.net is the website, everybody. That's where you find everything.
Got new courses up on Gumroad. You can follow the links and check those out. You can learn some fighting stuff. Yeah.
Wake Up Bible, if you're like me and you're a big fatty and you need to learn how to lose weight. John Fitch has done it again and again and again and again and continues to do it and smash things. The audio version of this is over at thegruelingtruth.com. We'll actually be able to cover fights next week. Let's hope the world doesn't start fire. Let's hope that I still have a YouTube channel after all John Fitch is the worst luck I've had so far in 1,800 plus videos, as he's the only warning out there. And the Go Get funding is how you can support myself. But really, if you want to support both of us, Rockfin. Again, we're almost at 11,000 followers here on Rockfin. I go live for free Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. In fact, today's freebie is still all free. It's not going up on YouTube. I said a little too many naughty things. Not allowed to say them on YouTube. Stay in there. You had a John Fitch Knows Nothing podcast last night. Tell the folks about that.
Yes, I did. I had a guest on, Josh Lakesh. We talked all kinds of ludicrous stuff going on in politics. So it's good.
So you're going to get a strike on that one? You dare talk about things that you're not allowed to talk about?
Yes, it's like, I don't get that many views as it is, but there was like definitely nobody watching. Like it was not in the normal viewage range.
Really?
It normally is next day.
So everybody go check out that podcast. Give John some views. Give him a subscribe over here on YouTube as well. All right, Fitch. It's been fun. I'll see you next week. And I love you guys. I'll see you on the flip side.
Good times.